Here's exactly how I'm structuring my 6-month Hyrox Pro training around my actual life. So let's talk about training. For the next 6 months, I will be doing whatever I can to help prepare myself for Hyrox Pro Women's Solo. And if you haven't seen the previous episodes, I could just go over what I've been doing, what I signed up for, and where I'm at currently. And in this video, I wanted to talk about how I'm building my training per week from scratch. And I know I did talk a little bit about it in last week's video, but I thought I'd go over the more of the real stuff of how do I fit all this in when I have work, I have a community that I help build, and I have family and friends that I like to hang out with, and all the essentials that I need in order to succeed this idea or this plan. When it comes to training, what I normally do is I go into these goals on what I need to achieve. And for this type of training, there's going to be specific goals for each month. I did utilize a little bit of AI to help formulate the kind of program that I need. And I just told them, hey, I'm a big runner and I like to lift. I've done 2 Hyrox doubles, moving on to Hyrox Pro, and I need help figuring out how to structure my training program. And it spit out as much as it can for me for each week. And I've also been using this app called RoxFit to help generate workouts through there. The RPE has been really helpful for me just to understand how much effort I need to put in each workout. I'll go over that. But the training split that I have and how do I keep track of it? So if you watch my previous episode, you know what my split looks like. If you don't, I will put it right here. And that's kind of what I'm doing for the next 6 months, essentially. The only difference would be vamping up on each section. And I think the one that would change the most is probably the Hyrox conditioning and the heavy lower and sled exercises that I will be doing. And then as for the long runs, that will also progress, obviously, because I'm pretending like I'm training for a half marathon when I'm not actually doing a half marathon. I may or may not sign up for one. We'll see. I haven't quite decided yet on what I wanted to do, but I've been getting a lot of suggestions on what kind of half marathon races there are in Colorado. And how do I balance this with work and life? Essentially, there are my non-negotiables, and a lot of it is, I would say, sleep and fuel. Those are my 2 non-negotiables that I need to get done in order to proceed with the training program that I have planned. When it comes to sleep, it's very crucial and it is very tough to stay on and be disciplined on, because if you know me, I host a few meetup events, and I've also grown another friend group, and we just like to hang out all the time. And when it comes to those kind of things, you tend to go to sleep late. But I've been trying to not do that and trying to say no to things, or trying to cut things a little bit shorter and allowing myself to get ready for bed and then go on with my next day. So sleep is probably one of my non-negotiables. What's been helping me is obviously my Aura ring that I've gotten, I don't even know, since December maybe, or January. And it's been helpful in helping me recognize what's helping my sleep and what isn't. And what I've noticed is, obviously, there's a bunch of people out there that talk about sleep and what you need to do in order to have good sleep. I normally try to take magnesium as part of my daily vitamins during the day. I try to not look at screens an hour before bed. Obviously, there's times where I am, and it messes up my sleep. But sleep score it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit, but I try to be more intuitive with my body, but also taking any information that I get from the Aura ring and doing whatever I can with that information to help me maintain or improve my sleeping habits. So yeah, sleep is number 1. Number 2 is fueling. For the past couple weeks, I would say I've been more on top of my calorie intake and the carb intake during or before or after my workouts. And the reason why that's number 2 non-negotiable is because I'm working out so much that I need to fill in those gaps with fuel and make sure I'm retaining and keeping the energy that I need in order to continue training. One of my goals is to gain muscle and a little bit of weight just for personal preferences and health wise. That's kind of my goal. I've been working with my nutritionist. I've talked about him in another video, which I will link here. And if you don't know about it already, I utilize this app Nourish, and it works with my insurance. And if you want to know more about them, feel free to click the link below in the description. I am not sponsored by them at all, but I do know that they do help. And my nutritionist, I'm very thankful to have him. He's been really great. Kudos to you, Sean. Hopefully you get more people on your plate, but obviously. So that's kind of what's been helping me. Those are my non-negotiables, and those are being taken account when it comes to training. Another piece is what's helped me, because I've learned that I have a certain amount of ADHD. I don't know how much, but I know I do have it. And if you do too, you might want to take these tips that I have for keeping myself organized and knowing when I need to work out and what kind of workout needs to be done. So I have my handy dandy calendar, but you don't have to do this. I like doing this because it's a more physical. I just love calendars. I love writing on them. I have two of these. I have a personal one and then I have my workout one. And it's helpful for me to keep track, and I take pictures of it after end of each month, and it helps me just visually see it before I leave the house if I don't want to look at my phone or if I don't have my phone on me. And then I also have it on my phone in case I need it. And for my phone, I just have a Google Calendar, and I set up under an actual separate calendar called my workout program. And I have the same thing. I don't know if you can see that, but I have the same thing set up on my calendar, and it's very helpful, especially if I'm out and about. And obviously I don't have my whiteboard calendar with me. It keeps me up to date on what I need to do and how much effort I need to put into it. I put all the phases on here. So you have phase 1, it's essentially pushing myself near race load, whether that's the sled push weight or sled pull. Also practicing pulls and just establishing that. And then starting on wall balls, because I don't normally train that much for wall balls, as much as I probably should. And then on top of that is obviously the running, making sure my long runs get up to maybe 6 or 7 miles. And then for phase 2, we have the hybrid build. That's going to be for, I want to say, 8 weeks. And the goal there is to blend the running and the stations. So like I said from my first episode of this, is compromised efforts and combining, say, farmer's carries, lunges, and then running on the treadmill, or having them in between. And then I would say one of the checkpoints is to officially become used to pushing pro weight and running on fatigue. So those are the two main things that I would like to build in phase 2. That'll be in June or August. And then phase 3, the goal there is to have pace simulations and race durability, and just taking less breaks, essentially. This will help me figure out my race pace intervals, maintaining my strength training, doing a little bit more Hyrox sims. So on Wednesdays, there'll be more Hyrox sims versus Hyrox conditioning. This is how I understand it. Conditions touches on some of the stations, and then for the sim, it touches on all the stations along with running. And then the checkpoint for this one, I would say just understand my race pace, at least complete 75% of a Hyrox sim, and then have confidence in my wall balls and my sleds, because those ones are kind of iffy. I'm trying to think. I think there was a time, I think in phase 2 is when I want to do the Hyrox sim, like an actual Hyrox sim solo, so I can figure out where I'm at the halfway mark, and then I can go into phase 3 comfortably and understand, okay, this is my race pace, this is what I'm going for. And then obviously phase 4, that'll be peak and taper. That just includes my peak training 4 weeks before my race, and then whatever 3 weeks left of tapering means for that, and just maintaining and continuing my program there, but just kind of decrease in volume as the weeks go by or as the weeks get closer to race day. So that's kind of my training program that I have set up. You can do the same thing. You can use AI, you can use whatever. This is what's helped me. This time around, I've been trying to do it to a T. Obviously, life will get in the way, and that's kind of what I'll talk about next is how do I do this when life gets in the way? Well, you kind of have to be flexible, number one, obviously. Number two, just give yourself grace. You can't be perfect. And number three is shift however you can with how your body is used to doing. So, for example, it's not on here, but say that I missed this tempo run on a Tuesday. I would essentially push it to a Wednesday and push everything else the following day and just leave it as that. Because if I double, and I have doubled workouts on top of each other, it's fine, but I don't know if it's as effective as I thought it was going to be. But it makes me feel better if I double them and makes me feel like I'm on track. But if that's something that you can't do, totally fine. You're not obligated to do that, obviously. But that's kind of what I do is I either push the workout the following day or I double them. So say that I missed a Monday, I would push the heavy lower and sled workout on the Tuesday and then run in the afternoon. And when it comes to, I guess, my menstrual cycle, yes, it does affect my training. I would say the week before my period, I would say mostly affects my training because that's my weakest time. And then when I'm on my period or even after my period, I'm at my strongest. So I always try to PR around that time. And if you don't follow your menstrual cycle, that's totally fine. Welcome to the unknown because I'm here with you. That adds on to it. And obviously, if I'm not feeling well and I need to take a break, I'll take a break. I've learned to be disciplined in working out and disciplined in rest. Being disciplined in rest is very hard with a previous athlete mindset because when you rest, it feels like you're not doing anything and it makes you feel like you suck. But I've learned, and I've been learning this year to take rest and utilize it because when I don't and I dilly-dally, I realize, wow, rest would have been nice because I work out 6 days a week and I only have 1 day to rest. And whenever I can and whenever I do rest, I either just lounge on the couch and watch a TV show or I just don't work out, obviously, go to the gym. I just go for a walk. I have dogs, so I do have to walk eventually, but that's kind of my rest days. And then when it comes to work, I don't work remotely anymore, but now that I work in person 3 days a week, 3 to 4 days, I have to adjust my schedule. What has helped me and what I've realized is if I work out in the morning before work, I can get through my day and not feel like drained or tired, or I would be more focused. So, and that's why sleep is one out of the two non-negotiables, is because if my sleep messes up, I can't wake up early to go to the gym, and then there goes my program. So what has helped me is going to bed, I want to say around at least before falling asleep before 11:30 is probably best case scenario, because then I can wake up at 7. It takes me so long to get up. I don't think I'm a morning person, but I can be, I guess. I don't know. But essentially, I will wake up at 7-ish, get out of bed at 7:30, and then get ready. Takes about an hour. And then I get to the gym around 9 and then work out. Because sometimes my work, I don't have meetings till 11 sometimes. If it's at 9, then obviously I'll have to wake up earlier. But on Thursdays, I actually do get a break because Thursdays are my runs and I do an easy run in the afternoon. So that's fine. That works. And then Tuesdays I do track runs, which is all, they can also be in the afternoon because I like to go to run clubs, or I just go to a track near me and I train there. And that's pretty much work Monday through Friday. That's kind of how I navigate that. When there's life stuff that happens, I just let it happen. For example, I think a Thursday there was a dinner and I had work that day and then go straight to dinner, and I didn't wake up early enough to do the workout. It is what it is. So, and I told you I like to shift my workouts and move them because, and I really like, I'll probably share it if I have it. I really like this image where it shows what consistency looks like in society and what consistency actually looks like. And I love it because that's my life. This is what consistency looks like for me. I don't work out the same time every day. I don't, to be honest. I am all over the place because my life is all over the place. If you want to look at my calendar, you don't. You don't want to look at it because you see flying colors. So that's kind of how I work around that for work. And then life as well. I kind of just work around it, do whatever I can. If I can sneak in a run before going to an event, perfect. I will do that. Or if I need to separate, so for my long runs, if I don't have enough time to do 7.5 miles, I can break it up into 2. Same with my workouts. There was a time, I think it was Monday, I didn't get to do the full workout, but I ended up doing part of it the following day after my track session, which is helpful because even though I did half of it, I still did the rest of it the following day because that's the time that I had. So you kind of have to be flexible. People are disciplined in their own way, and mine is this. And if you ever go and get into that mindset of, oh, I missed it, I missed a day or I missed a week, pick it back up again. Nothing's stopping you. If you missed 2 weeks, okay, pick it back up again. You're only holding yourself back from starting over again by telling yourself you're not good enough to keep it going. If you keep it going, even if you mess up, maybe the following time when you mess up, you'll get back on that horse a lot quicker than you did before. So that's that. Fueling strategy. I feel like I've talked about this before, but I can talk about it now, but I'm not quite fine-tuned on what I want to do, but I do need to get more fueling. I do have gels, which are helpful, and I have these Scratch Lab gel gummies that I really like, but I haven't actually dialed in on the carbs and electrolytes and whatever that I need. So I'm trying to be more cognizant of the kind of fueling that I'm taking and when I'm taking it, when I'm working out. So I'll reveal that probably later in a later episode of when I talk more about fueling. Accountability system. I wanted to talk about this, but I don't even know if I have an accountability system. Actually, I kind of do. I just showed you. This is my handy dandy accountability system because it helps me keep track along with Strava or Runna or RoxFit. They have this thing where they can show you if you did the workout or not. So that's my accountability system for tracking my training metrics. I also use this Strong app. I've mentioned it before in this other video that I made about apps. You can find it in here. I will link it somewhere here. And it helps me keep track of my metrics on lifting. So for sled push, sled pull, it keeps track of how long and how much weight I added that day. And I could look back. So then when I get to the gym, I could be like, oh, what did I do last time? Can I go over that? So those are the things that help me keep track of where I'm at and how I can get better. And then I don't exactly have accountability buddies, right? I have other people that are doing the Hyrox, but not with me. So yeah, and I've also been trying to keep it a secret, but obviously it's not a secret anymore because it's on my channel. But I just haven't been showing it off that much, mostly because I'm trying to just focus on me and what I want to do and what God is allowing me to do. Because I've been in a place before where I couldn't do these things. So being grateful for the body that I have and the mindset that I have. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for following with this. I have yet to finish editing most of these videos. I'm enjoying making and filming myself, but I haven't actually edited, so we gotta do that. We'll see you in the next episode next week. Okay, bye.